Okay, what I'm doing today is I have to change the derby cover. This is the derby cover. See this scratch right here? It's a pretty deep scratch actually. I have a new derby cover, and also down here it's always dirty. It doesn't drip. It's not nasty oily, but I went ahead and got a new gasket for that. Got oil, new derby cover gasket, and a new primary gasket. That's the new derby cover I got. About $100 for all this, so let me get going. I've got the motorcycle on my trusty motorcycle leveler stand. I don't have a jack. You can't use a jack while you're doing this anyways because you have to get under the bike. So I just use my A-frame and a couple of heavy-duty motorcycle straps. You know, they're hooked up pretty good. Keeps it level so I can take it apart. Alright, we got the oil drained out. Now it's just a matter of going around and getting all the screws out and then knocking that cover loose. Alright, got it tore apart, all cleaned up, and you can see it dripping. What I did is I've wired the clutch wide open so I could stick a screwdriver in here and spray brake cleaner down inside the fibers and the plates. Got that all cleaned up. Got the old gasket off. There's my old derby cover. And I actually had one screw broke off in the top of that case. So I had to drill it out and grab on it with a pair of vice grips and pull it out. So now I'm going to check my chain tension. I don't know if that's too much, too loose, or what. I gotta look it up and put some new parts on it. Okay, there's my cover all cleaned up. My inspection plate. It's got fingerprint smudges. But if you can see, there's some really fine scratches right here and right there. I'm gonna hit it with my buffer real quick and clean those up. Buffer's around here somewhere. Alright, I went ahead and polished it up. Polished my inspection cover up. I got a little cake down in the grease groove, but that'll be alright. Alright, there's what it'll look like all back together. All nice and shiny. This bike's for sale if anybody wants to buy it. I'll trade it for a Mercury Marauder 2003 or 4, or cash money. Alright, what I did is I chased all my screw holes with my drill and a tap and some spray oil. But this chain is just a hair over an inch play. And it should only be 3/4 of an inch. I need to loosen this bolt and raise this pad up and make that a little bit of adjustment. Okay, this is all you got to do to check this chain. Okay, the bottom of the chain right here is at 3 inches. If you lift up and put a lot of pressure on it, it shouldn't go past 3/4. And the reason I say you put a lot of pressure on it is because if you notice the clutch drum moves and takes the slack out of the bottom. So when you're lifting this up and putting pressure on it, you see the chain here tightens up. So that shouldn't move more than 3/4 of an inch. And that's at 3 inches. And that's just in between 1/2 and 3/4, and that's perfect. And then if you want to adjust it, all you do is loosen this bolt up and slide this whole shoe assembly up. You know, it's grooved in the back, so you can just go one click at a time. Okay, this don't take rocket science to put this on, okay? You shouldn't need any gasket cement. There's 2 pins that gasket will set on. And then you just take your cover, and it goes on just like that. And then you might want to get a bolt in it real quick before you drop it. And that's what I'm going to do, is I'm just going to put one in it for now to just hold it on there from falling. And then what I'll do is I'm going to put a little anti-seize on all these bolts before I put them in, and then I'm going to fill it up, put the covers back on it, clean it up, be done. All right, in the process, I went to town and got some more fluid. I was going to put just engine oil in this primary, and then I found out they recommended a synthetic, just automatic transmission fluid. So I went and got some more old purple. I got 2 quarts of that. Okay. And in the process of going to change the transmission oil in this bike, there's a plug in between the 2 shocks to drain the transmission oil. The primary and the transmission are 2 totally different animals. I found out the transmission drain plug was loose. So the oil that was underneath the bike that I showed you in the first video, or the first part of this video, is coming from the drain plug in the transmission being loose. So we figured that out. I didn't need to do most all of this work over here, but anyways, it made me feel better. So let's move on. I got the drain plug out. The oil is draining. And then there's the drain plug down there. Actually, it's right there by the wrench. And you have to take that plug out right there. And it holds 1 quart. And I'm going to put synthetic engine oil in it, 2050. I'll run it and get it warm, change it again, because it's pretty dark and ugly looking. So I'm going to just make sure. That's, you know, it doesn't cost that much money. It cost me, what, $7 a quart? You know, like doing the engine oil, what I'll do is I'll drain all the oil out. I'll buy 2 filters. I'll spin a new filter on it, fill it up with fresh engine oil. I'll run it, get it warm with the fresh oil and the fresh filter on it, and then I will change it again. Costs $35. I save less money doing it myself that way than if I was to take it to the dealer and just let them change it once. And then I know all the old oil is out of the engine, out of the transmission. You know, I took the primary apart and cleaned it out, so I know it's clean. So, I mean, we're starting from scratch. So let's just keep moving forward. Okay, here's the drain plug out. Or that's the fill plug. You know, that's the full mark, it's the top one. Other mark is the empty one. We'll set that one there to the side, actually. While it's draining, I'll just stick it back in there so that nothing falls down in there. And then we'll get some oil in it. Alright, last few screws here. Got my drill set with a clutch, so you can't over tighten. And that's about it. I'm gonna let it run about 2 or 3 minutes, warm it up, and I'm gonna change the training fluid again.